Hey guys, so today I am doing a book review on Big Magic, Creative Thinking Beyond Fear by Elizabeth Gilbert. And I have to say I was really happy that I picked this book up. I actually got it at Target. Totally a cover buy because, this cover is beautiful. But I also love Elizabeth Gilbert. I've read a lot of her books, and so I was super excited to see what she had to say about this and the idea of creativity. She kind of started this book, I guess, with a TED Talk that she did, and I'll put that link down below so you guys can check it out. And in that TED Talk, she talks about creativity, how you find inspiration, and her kind of theory about what inspiration is. And it was really interesting. I checked it out in school, and so I was super excited that she actually wrote a book that kind of further talks about this topic. So great. I love this book. As you can see, I have taken a lot of notes and a lot of different things in the book that I really wanted to remember. And so it's just a really great book, and I'm super excited to be telling you guys about it. So I have kind of this love-hate relationship with self-help books because I really like the idea of self-help books, but a lot of the times it's more the authors really just talking about their life and their experiences, which I totally understand, but it doesn't really go beyond that into the realm of giving the readers advice. But this book does a really good job of doing that, and I think she takes a really realistic approach to creativity, that it's not just something aspiring artists have to do. You don't have to quit your day job to become a creative person. It's something that you should do because you enjoy doing it as a way to relax yourself or an outlet, and it shouldn't be something that it doesn't have to be something that you do as a way to make money. It's really a great book in that sense because it doesn't just apply to writers, painters, photographers, graphic designers, but it applies to mothers, people that work in science industry, or doctors. It applies to anyone that wants to live a more creative life. And the definition of creativity is a very broad, and it can mean many things. So that's what I really liked about this book, is that she doesn't really set creativity as you have to be an artist. Another part about this book that I really like is that she takes kind of the pressure off of being creative and being an artist, because typically you have the stereotype that an artist needs to be suffering to gain experiences for their art, but she really kind of takes the pressure off. Like, art doesn't have to be something that you do to change the world or make this big impact on society. Art can be something you do just for yourself. It can be something that brings meaning to your life, and it can be a very, I guess, in a way, a selfish act. She brings up an example about when she wrote Eat, Pray, Love, the book she's most known for. And she talks about how she wasn't writing that book to help other people or inspire other people. She was purely writing it for herself to kind of gather her thoughts and move forward. It ended up being a book that actually helped and inspired other people. So artwork should really be something you do for you, and the consequences of that artwork can be more changing, but it doesn't have to be this like deeply changing piece of work to matter. Art doesn't have to be anything. It could be whatever you want it to be, and I like that idea that she kind of talks about that, because it takes the pressure from artists who are trying to change the world with their artwork. And that's also, there's nothing wrong with that, but everything you make doesn't have to have this huge impact on the world. And I love her theories about inspiration and what inspiration is, and I think it's a very different kind of way to look at it. She explains it a lot in her TED Talk, but she also goes into detail about it in her book, and she thinks of inspiration as these entities, kind of like little souls that kind of travel around, and they pop into people's minds when they believe that you're ready for inspiration. And I think that's a cool way of thinking of it, and it's kind of also putting the pressure off the artist that you don't always have to stay inspired, but inspiration comes to you and you just have to be ready to take it and ready to put that inspiration to use. I kind of like her theories about what inspiration is, and it's very interesting, and I think it's very strange, but it's a very cool way of thinking about what inspiration is this live kind of thing that just comes when you're ready, and if you take it, you take it. If you're not ready for it, or if you don't think it's for you, you just pass it on to the next person. So that was really cool about her book. And I love also how her book is structured. Like, each chapter is like, these are basically like the tools. Each chapter, she says, what you need for inspiration to come to you, and it's courage, enchantment, permission, persistence, trust, and divinity. And I love how each chapter is divided. I love it because it's easy to go back in this book and be like, okay, I need help with getting the courage to go out there and be creative, and I can just read the first chapter, and the chapters are really short and simple, and they give you that boost of inspiration and motivation that you need. And I love that so like, I feel like a lot of self-help books, the thoughts and ideas can be a little jumbled everywhere, so you definitely have to mark what topics you want to go back to or what parts you want to revisit when you feel like down. And this book has it really organized in a way that you can just go to that chapter and get that boost of inspiration, which is really awesome. I absolutely love this book. And when I was thinking about writing this review, I was trying to think of something that I didn't like, and I really couldn't think of anything about this book that did not appeal to me. And I believe I did give it like 5 out of 5 stars. It's just a really amazing book, and I love her for writing it. And I think it's one of the self-help books that are really helpful for people. And I think it's a book that anyone can enjoy. You don't have to be an aspiring writer or artist to really get something from this book. So yeah, I definitely would recommend it to anyone who is interested in bringing a little more creativity to their world, or who is focused on creativity in their life but doesn't know how to go further and is feeling the pressure of trying to be something or trying to create stuff that actually matters. And I think this book really just lets you do you. Like, you just be creative and people will take it how they take it. And that's just how it's always gonna be. And I really like her realistic approach to what creativity is, that you don't have to be this pained writer or pained artist to necessarily mean something in the world. So yeah, definitely pick this book up if you have not already. And if you have read this book, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to see what you thought about her ideas of inspiration and where it comes from. Or if you did not like this book, I'd really like to know your thoughts to see why. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye. So I listened to my first audiobook last month, and I really enjoyed it. I listened to The Art of Asking by Amanda Palmer, and it was a really